The big nerd debate right now for a long time is, does Deadpool and Wolverine save the MCU? We're going to find out. So I'm taking Deadpool to Cru Court. Let's go.
Oh.
Woo! $500 million Deadpool and Wolverine has made. $500 million at a $200 million budget after like the first opening weekend. It's crazy. They broke multiple records. The highest grossing R-rated movie, of course, they beat Deadpool before that, which of course that was going to happen because Deadpool had been dominating the R-rated movie thing. The biggest debut ever this year for a movie. And this keeps breaking records. Wow. The money keeps stacking up. And it's a big win for them. It's taking Marvel over like I think it's like $30 billion. It's some crazy line. They made so much money at their box office, and Deadpool Wolverine is causing all these crazy people to go nuts. People love it. I love it. I think they did a great job with this. I do miss Professor X in this movie. I do miss Professor X. But we're going to go to the Cru Court. I'll have my verdict at the end. I want to go around the table. I want to talk to everybody what they think about Deadpool Wolverine. Do they save the Marvel Universe? Or is this just another movie that maybe gets people incentivized to go back to watch one more? That is the question. So I'm going to go around the Cru Court. We're going to find out right now. So I'm going to start with Mr. Casey. Mike. Do you promise? Give me your oath. Do you promise the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? So help you, Mike, and Cru Court.
I promise that I thank God that you put me first in this discussion, Brian.
Of course I did. Mike saw the movie today. Mike, does Deadpool Wolverine save the MCU? And was this everything you expected from the movie? Spoiler alert, it's happening. Tell me the truth, Mike.
So that's the spoiler alert. They did accomplish something. They accomplished that, like, R-rated movies are for kids now. I think that's what this $500 million number shows you, is that they're just kind of, that children like to say the F word now, I guess. Like, I don't know. I watched it today. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I had a good time. The plot was like pretty dang thin. The villains were like, aside from whatever fan service and comic book references existed, there like not a lot of juice there, guys. And I shouldn't be criticizing at this level. This is not what Cru Court's for. It's fine. It's fine. Give them a pass. It was fun. It was probably better than, it was probably the best Deadpool movie, and it's got Hugh Jackman. He's an Australian. There was a 25% joke hit rate, and I think that's pretty good for the sheer number of jokes. So I was happy.
How much they were thrown out there, yeah.
There were so many jokes, Mike. There were so many jokes, so many one-liners, so many references to their own lives, him stepping down, their own lives, about how Hugh Jackman's divorced, about, Blake Lively, the bye thing in the beginning. I laughed so much. People are saying it's the best intro ever for a movie in general, and maybe the best ever for a Marvel movie. I think it was great. It's also dealt with the Logan thing very quickly. Like, okay, we're going to shit on that shit, kind of, but we're going to respect it.
Your Honor, they were aping that,
yes.
The scene from, I think, that Kingsman, the first Kingsman movie. Is Colin Firth, like, murders a church full of people? Is that it?
The best fight scene in all of the film.
Yeah, exactly. And then they've kind of been trying to relive that in a few other movies since then. But I think that Deadpool was kind of really, they wanted that was what they had posted on the vision board the whole time.
Yeah. Brian, I see what you've done here with this scene. Very, very nice. Very good job, yes.
Hey, we're in court, man. Yeah, we're in court. You can approach the bench. You can approach the bench.
Oh, Jesus.
I appreciate you.
Wow.
As the court gesture, court man, the judge, whatever. But okay, but Mike's right. Like, there was a lot of fan service. There was a lot of like inside jokes. There was, I would say the plot was not the strongest. But seeing Hugh Jackman and seeing Deadpool one-on-one was the catch, was what was getting people to the theater. I think that's what it was. So Sean, I'm putting you on the stand, man, right now. Right. I want the truth. I want the whole truth. I want nothing but the truth. So help me, Sean. So Sean, do you promise? Do you promise? Tell me the truth, and that's it. And you're in Cru Court. You gotta tell me the truth. It's real life, man. It's real life. It's truth. Okay. Did you think Deadpool saved the MCU? I want the truth.
No. It was a fine movie. As Mike said, yes, it was very thin. There was not a lot of heart to it. It was a ton of meta shit. It was a lot of like inside base kind of humor and jokes there that like if you watch this episode of this show or you knew like this kind of like
Channing Tatum.
It was okay. Channing Tatum.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, you want me to respond to Channing Tatum's statement? That's fine. It was great. This was not the savior of Marvel, and I think that was almost like a red herring that they threw at us in the marketing early, right? You expected them to do this. He called himself Marvel Jesus, all this Disney talk. Feige won't let us do cocaine. Ha ha ha. This was not the resurgence that Marvel really needed. What did it do? It brought two of the most popular characters over from Sony and gave them to Marvel, and that's fantastic. These two characters are already doing children's story time at Disney World. That happened the same day this movie.
Immediately. So I saw that.
Keep that in mind. I saw the clip and I go, what the hell are we living in?
Yep.
This world is that thin. But it gave us a few things to like. What it was a swan song and an appreciation for the Sony era of superhero films. Were they great? No. Was it something that we have needed closure on for the past 20 years? Absolutely. I love the inclusion of Elektra in this. Her little dig at Ben Affleck was brilliant. It was beautiful. Daredevil, it's okay. It's really fine. They divorced. It was fantastic. But they got legacy. They got meaning again. And the fact that mid-credit scene was done to that Green Day song, you understood at that point. I understood what the fuck the point of the movie was. Right? It was to say, hey, this shit sucked from Sony, and I'm sorry that we had to do this, but look at how cool it was at that time. And this shit existed so that now we can have the Marvel. And now we can have, hopefully, a course-corrected DC universe. It gave respect to the characters and all the time and effort and manpower that went into building those worlds with the best intentions and not necessarily the best scripts or the best actors or the best special effects, but by golly, they fucking tried. And so you have to appreciate that. And I once I saw that, it kind of made sense to me. The bye dance, I almost was like, what the fuck are we? This is the next 2 hours of my life. Is it? I loved it. I loved it. It was just they threw so much at you, and it was so quick-witted and so many things. This also gave us so many like things that we've wanted to see forever. A comic accurate Hugh Jackman costume for Wolverine.
Did you cry? Did you cry, Sean? A manly tear?
When he put the cowl on. When he put the cowl on, you went.
When he pulls a damn thing, and I was like, of course they're holding it until he murders all the Deadpool variants.
That was great. It. And then his side-scrolling thing like it.
Sandra Nova, probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. I thought she did great with that for little screen time that she got. They had some very
little screen time. It was kind of for a good villain like that. It's
they kind of wasted her, and then they're like, "We're gonna put you in a machine, and then you're gonna become noodles later." Merry Christmas, I guess. But again, still a very nice introduction to Cassandra Nova, and that building that ethos of her character and dichotomy against Charles Xavier. So, no. We did not save Marvel.
That's true. You think they were laying groundwork with that, Sean?
I mean, I think so. I think it's like it's recognizing the fact that hey, Magneto meant something, Charles Xavier meant something to these movies. They were probably some of your favorites, memories. Like this was just like nostalgia bait left and right with all these cameos and stuff. And so I think a lot of that was like, oh, you've accepted Charles Xavier, a man who can read your mind by going like this. Mm-hmm. Well, had someone just a little bit like her and has to stick her hand in your craw to get all the memories. And just beautifully comic book accurate. I just before go to Patreon and look up the exact issue or whatever. But I enjoyed the movie. It's not to save Marvel. Marvel has a lot of work to do.
It's fun still.
But they've laid a lot of groundwork to get better and hopefully improve. And I know we're going to talk about some other stuff later, so I don't want to get too much into it. But no, this did not solve or save Marvel. Marvel still has to work hard, but this gave a fitting tribute and fitting ending to the Fox 20th Century Studios era of movies. And
I love that Wesley Snipes came forward and said, "Hey, I got a text from Ryan Reynolds, and I was like, what about? Hey, would you want to do this?" And he said that we never were angry at each other, we never hated each other. And I'm like, there was this whole thing. It was all decades of jokes. And I'm like, was it or not? But he's like, they'll never go up for it anyway. So yeah, if you make it happen, I'll go for it. And then he's like, I was shocked that Disney said yes to me coming back to be Blade, which
they know Blade's never coming out.
Yeah, Blade's like, and he actually made a joke. He said, "I'm the only Blade that'll ever exist," or some shit during it. I was like, "Oh shit, Mahershala Ali's fucking pissed right now."
the classic line, right? Motherfuckers still trying to ice skate uphill. Beautiful to hear that
line he improv in the first movie. You know?
Yeah, and Channing Tatum was great. I actually had no notes. I'm glad that he got that out of his system.
Yeah, and in case nobody knows, like Channing Tatum,
something good came out of it. Sean.
Channing Tatum wanted to do that years ago. He wanted to direct it, wanted to write it, he wanted to be. He worked in that Cajun accent for like a year when he was trying to.
That's gonna make me cry.
You need a little bit more work. That's great.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite joke of the movie.
Maybe he handed up a little bit for this, but he still wanted to do that so bad, and it happened.
Of all the reveals, I would say like the Channing Tatum gambit was probably my favorite. The Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, that was fun. That was fine.
Oh, yeah, it was great. I knew he was going to say Flame On. I knew immediately he was going to say Flame On. I knew because we talked about how many times, as soon as I saw him, I go, all the rumors are true. Because there were rumors about how it's going to be like Johnny Storm. There was going to be Blade. That came out later. Elektra 100% was already said. And there was a rumor about Gambit. And I'm like, oh, it's all fucking true. So I knew as soon as I saw Johnny, I'm like, oh, they're all coming. And then when I saw him, I'm like, oh,
I hate it.
Yeah, we talked about it. People, you know, some of our feeds have been blown up about that shit in the past. It's crazy.
Okay.
Oh, really? People are going back through the catalog?
Going back, and they've been like our chats about those like months ago.
I like that. Okay, was Matthew McConaughey the voice of the Western Deadpool? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, right. He was. And Ryan Reynolds' kid was actually one of the Deadpool kids that like says like sucking a dick or hitting a dick or something. I remember something about that. But Spencer, you haven't had a chance to talk, man. So I need the truth from you too, man. Get on the stand. Tell us how you believe. Does Deadpool and Wolverine save the MCU? I want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you, Spencer. Tell me the truth.
I'm a liar. I'll start with that. Gosh, man, did it save everything? What a question. Honestly,
She-Hulk.
Did it put people in seats? Yeah, clearly. Clearly it has done that, you know, and it's maybe evidence that you don't need as much as you thought you did to put people in seats. Sometimes it's just a quippy one-liner and two actors that everybody fucking knows. I don't know. I will tell you, I loved the film. It was so quippy and funny, and like every joke landed for me. But it was, to me, like very clear that it's not going to land for everybody. And definitely a movie for the fans, which is the best way to do a third movie. You know, it's a good send-off. It is. I think a lot of people were unfortunately expecting, at least. Thank you. Didn't appreciate that. I think a lot of people were expecting like an Avengers-esque coming together of worlds. And I think we're all still waiting to see that, especially with like Doctor Strange and like Convergence, and we're still waiting to see all of it really come together. And I think that's just their shtick. They're waiting to do that perfectly and in the right way. I did think Deadpool was going to be a good way to do that, and they really just ended up dropping that little note of like, what's the anchor being, right? You know, and so to me, like at the end of the day, like that's the only note of like something you need to take home. You know what I mean? That there are anchor beings that affect timelines, right? So But I don't know. It was great overall. It was very well done. It didn't. I don't know. People are definitely going to go see a lot of the shit that's moving forward. I think Deadpool, and then what we're about to talk about after this.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's all going to tie together.
Started that wave or trend to get the audience kind of prepared and in that seat for the best possible result of that reaction, which is a weird thing to do, but we'll see how it goes.
What? Sorry, I want to address. There were so many kids.
Yes,
in
please
my
approach
movie
bench.
theater.
Yes,
there were so many friggin' kids. I was like, "What are we doing, guys? What are we doing?" This is I don't know.
I think
that's Ryan Reynolds, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he has. I mean, like as long as he's been around, Kruse,
the Imaginary Friend movie came up right before this, so of course.
Yeah, and he's
I do love. You know, his wife put a tweet out saying, like, you know, that he's married to a millennial because, and then she showcases all the things.
Awesome.
Like, bye.
Awesome.
Like a lot of different.
No shit, man. It's pure nostalgia, Your Honor. Like up and down the line.
Agreed. Thank you.
I mean, when they give you one Huey Lewis song, right? But then they transition into the next Huey Lewis song without letting you know that like this is a new, and then they go do to the third one. Like, okay, like maybe a little nostalgia bomb here.
Yeah. So Spencer says it doesn't save the MCU. Sean says it doesn't. Mike, you're saying it doesn't either, huh?
It doesn't what?
Doesn't save the MCU?
No. He directly said, like, he said, fuck the homework, let's have fun. That's what we need to save the MCU. I'm saying, yeah.
Let's have fun. Mike says, yeah. I'll say it does too, Mike. I'm going to go with it does because it starts getting energy moving. Energy moving forward. Energy moving forward for the MCU, which we haven't had in a long time. People have been like pissed and upset, but this is going to fucking spiral into what comes next. And I think that we get Deadpool, Wolverine, which I remember for the next movies coming out, for the next Avengers movies. If you put them in there too, it's only going to take the energy and spiral it into that new universe, cause a new form of fucking fan fiction, fan life to come to reality. And that's make people put those butts in the seats and they fucking love it. Judge wears pants, fuck you. And when it happens on that day, what comes down to is this. People will watch these next movies. It'll be spiraling, and because they're doing this, it led somebody else to come back too, which we're going to talk about right now. But I would say this: at the end of the day, Marvel is pointing in the right direction to get people back to theaters to actually be entertained and enjoy their movies. And I think that bringing Hugh Jackman in is a big win. Keep Hugh, because Hugh is who we need to see.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.